Welcome to another episode of Mystery Ranch International. Unfortunately, MJ2 couldn't be here tonight. Our penetration force alpha team gave us some information, had to usher him to an undisclosed bunker to hunker down. We'll just call it the hunker bunker and give you details of that possibly later. I do want to give him many props. He's been researching some numerology stuff for quite some time now, and this episode could stand alone, but if you haven't seen the previous few about 9/11 and numerology and some of these coincidences, I recommend you stop now and maybe go back and watch some of those, or don't, but just make sure you do check them out. We're not exactly giving you the reasoning about some of this just yet, but he's showing you he showed you in his videos a lot of numbers and how one number goes to another number, which leads to the next number, and it's pretty interesting. So what I would like to talk about tonight is the number 33. We thought it could have its own episode because there's so much going on with the number 33. So I'm going to get started here. I just want to say, on behalf of Mystery Ranch International, we know that the battle is won, but we just want to bring light to the darkness. So, let's get started with the number 33. The number 33, considered the most sacred of numbers, representing wisdom. So let's get into some of the meaning and symbology of the number 33. The number 33 is considered the most sacred of all numbers. You see, 33 plays in concert with 32 as it symbolizes transformation. Ice is frozen at 32 degrees. It becomes water at 33 degrees. It flows free at 33 degrees. And we'll do an episode on the Masons later and the 33 degree Masons and their influence in Washington, D.C. and things like that. But I'm going to start with the most important stuff, the good book, the Word of God, some 33 in the Bible. So 33 represents wisdom in the Bible. 33, or more precisely, 30 and 3 are mentioned 6 times in the Bible. Jesus lived 33 years. Jesus performed 33 miracles. The beast is mentioned 33 times in the Bible. There were 33 kings in the land of Canaan that had to be killed to receive God's inheritance. Moses killed 2 of them, Amalek and Og. David killed the other 31, equaling 33. Ben-Hadad of Syria came with 32 kings in order to take over. 32 plus himself makes 33. King David reigned in Jerusalem for 33 years. The Bible states that he ruled 40 years, but the first 7 were over the tribe of Judah, and then he ruled over all of Israel for 33 years. So according to Jewish tradition, recounted by the 1st century AD historian Josephus, he states that Adam and Eve had 33 sons and 23 daughters. The Star of David has 2 triangles, one inverted and placed on top of the other one. 2 triangles each having 3 sides. That's 3 and 3, or 33. There were 33 sons and daughters of Israel, 3,300 officers of King Solomon. There are 33 titles for the Antichrist in the Old Testament and 13 in the New Testament. Jacob had 33 children with his first wife Leah. The 33rd time his name was mentioned, it has to do with his vision of the ladder. We've all heard about Jacob's ladder. So that's pretty interesting. According to Jewish law laid out in Leviticus, a woman had to purify her blood and was not permitted to touch anything sacred for 33 days after her son was circumcised. Sounds like he should have been washing that thing. The Bible contains a total of 66 books. 33 and 33, or 33 times 2. The name God occurs 32 times in the first book of Genesis, and with God dictating to Moses, that makes 33. Lucifer took a third of the stars or angels with him when he fell from heaven. That's 33 and a third. The 33rd time Noah's name is used in Scripture is when God makes a special covenant or promise with him. It's for this reason that the number 33 is sometimes associated with God's promise. The 33rd time Abraham's name is used in the Bible is when Isaac, the child of promise, is born to him when he is 99 years old, or 33 times 3. The word miracle and language are used 33 times. There are 7 chapters with 33 verses. By some accounts, the 66 books of the Bible, 39 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament, were written by 33 people. Because we're sure of who wrote the majority of the books, but there is a little gray area, and we're not exactly sure who wrote certain ones, but some people believe that 33 people wrote all the books. So, we recommend you study your Bible every day, because it is what's most important, and like I said, the battle is won. So, let's move on to some other things, like the U.S. government. And we're going to explain later, in some later episodes, where some of these numbers come in and some of the darker things that have to do with numerology. I believe James has done a pretty good job explaining some of it, or we will if he hasn't yet. So, the U.S. government. In 1933, FDR put the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill. And 1 plus 9 is 10. With these esoteric folks, 10 is the number of dominance. But like I said, we'll get to some of that later. We're talking about 33. We'll talk about the importance of 11, or its evil roots, according to some, at a later date. So, the feathers on the great eagle on the great seal, the feathers on the eagle of the great seal of the U.S. has 33 feathers on its left wing and 32 on the right. Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz, is 33 32nds ratio, and the human body resonates exactly 33 octaves above the Earth's fundamental vibration. We can do an episode on frequency and vibration. It's pretty interesting stuff. The UN emblem contains 33 squares. In 2007, the 110th, that's a 110, go back to that 11, the 110th Congress passed Resolution 33, titled Recognizing the Thousands of Freemasons in every state in the nation and honoring them for their many contributions to the nation throughout history. Sam Houston statue in Huntsville, Texas, measures 66 feet tall, 33 times 2, and weighs 66,000 pounds, or 33 short tons. And of course, Sam Houston was a high-ranking Freemason. So, some of this may be coincidence, some of it may not be, but there's a whole lot more 33, so you decide. Let's just go through a few, some 33s and significant events. So the Twin Towers stood for 33 years before they were collapsed by the International Cabal. The Towers of Light Memorial, which stood in place of the Twin Towers after their collapse, shone every night between March 11th and April 13th, that's exactly 33 days. They had 44 bulbs in each light times 2 lights, that comes to 88. It took 88 years to birth the European Union. So, if you believe that the Twin Towers were taken down as the beginning step in an overall paradigm shift, which was utilizing sympathetic numerical magic, then that kind of goes in line here. The Alfred P. Murray Building in Oklahoma City, which is where the Oklahoma City bombing happened, was named after a 33-degree Freemason. It consisted of 3 rows of columns with 11 columns in each row. 11 times 3 is what? 33. After the trial of the Oklahoma City bombing, Timothy McVeigh was given a stay of execution and was eventually given the death penalty after he turned 33 years of age. The first shots fired in the Civil War were fired at Fort Sumter in Charleston, North Carolina. Charleston, North Carolina is located on the 32-degree parallel, 1 degree away from transformation. which back to water's frozen at 32 degrees and only transformed and is free to move at 33 degrees and above. Pope John Paul I was found dead exactly 33 days after becoming Pope. He vowed to investigate wrongdoings in the church and clean house. Was a message sent? I believe that was 1978. So, JFK was shot and killed November 22nd in Dealey Plaza. That's 11/22. What does that add up to? 33. Dealey Plaza is also the site of the first Grand Masons Lodge in Texas. March 30th, 1981, Ronald Reagan was shot and almost killed by John Hinckley Jr. So that's the 30th of the third month. So there's 2 threes right there. Little side note, John Hinckley Sr. was very good friends with George H.W. Bush, George Sr. For whatever that's worth, it's easy to find in Al Gore's interweb. Buzz Aldrin, who was a 33-degree Mason, was the first man to set foot on the moon. He brought with him on his mission a Scottish Rite banner flag, which was later donated to the House of the Temple. Gordon Cooper also carried a Scottish Rite banner flag on his 1965 Gemini 5 orbital mission. We'll probably do an episode on the moon landing too. It's a lot of crazy info there. So, Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, and Scottsdale, Arizona are all located exactly on the 33rd degree parallel and just happen to be the site of the largest witnessed UFO event in world history, known as the Phoenix Lights. So, on 3/3/2003, the UN World Prayer Center called for everyone to pray simultaneously at 3:30 p.m. It's a lot of 33s there. The Queen Mother's time of death was 3:15. So before everybody was wearing their Apple Watches, the 2 hands at 3:15 would have been pointing where? Both at the 3. March 3rd, there's 3/3, 1933, Governor Clarence Martin closed all banks when he declared a bank holiday. Well, I guess that'll make the Luciferian world bankers happy now, won't it? Don't you think that's weird? March the 3rd, so 3/3, 1933. I don't know. That's a lot of 33s. Atlantis embarked on its 33rd and final mission, which was also the final mission of a space shuttle, STS-135, on the 8th of July, 2011. STS-33 was a NASA space shuttle mission during which Discovery deployed a payload for the U.S. Department of Defense, the DoD. STS-33 was the 32nd shuttle mission overall and the 9th flight of Discovery. But of course, the details of the mission are still classified. Shakespeare writes that Julius Caesar died from 33 wounds. There's a lot of hidden stuff with Shakespeare, but who cares, right? A little bit of geography. NASA's Cape Canaveral runway lies on the 33rd degree parallel. The runway the shuttle lands on, its runway is named number 33, and it just so happens to be slanted 33 degrees west of north. Roswell, New Mexico is located on the 33rd degree parallel. The atom bomb was developed and tested in White Sands, New Mexico, located on the 33rd degree parallel. The 2 atom bombs used in World War II were eventually detonated at Hiroshima, located on the 34th degree parallel, and Nagasaki, located on the 32nd degree parallel, one each above and below the latitudes of the creation of the bombs. So that's above and below. Iraq, ancient Samaria, and Babylon are all located on the 33rd degree parallel. The longest continually inhabited city in the world is Damascus, Syria, at 33 degrees, 30 degrees north latitude. The area where the Tigris and Euphrates River come closest together, which is said to where the Garden of Eden would have been, Allegedly, the place of the earliest human civilization, or Sumeria, lies at where? 33 degrees latitude in modern-day Iraq. Phoenix, Arizona is located at the 33rd degree parallel and is 331 meters above sea level. And of course, Phoenix, Arizona is a hive of Freemasonry. Disneyland just happens to also be located on the 33rd degree parallel. A lot of 33s there, folks. Let's talk about the human body. 33 vertebrae in the human spinal column, when the bones that form the coccyx are counted individually. 33 days in the intellectual cycle and the human biorhythm. The human body functions ideally with 8 hours or 33.3% of sleep every 24 days. A lot of 33s. Some coincidence? Who knows? Some 33s in general here. According to the Newton scale, 33 is the number at which water boils. 33 is the atomic number of arsenic. 33 RPMs on the phonograph record, supposedly invented by Thomas Edison, who was a Freemason. Groundhog Day is the 33rd day of the year. At the Vatican, there are 32 archways on each side of the courtyard, with an obelisk in the middle, completing the number 33. We got plenty more to tell you about obelisks. So the Pope's cassock has 32 buttons on it, and his head completes the number 33. The ceiling in the UN General Assembly Room has a large circular light surrounded by 32 smaller lights. In astrology, the sun officially transitions into a new sign of the zodiac at the 33rd degree. It enters that on the 30th, but doesn't totally clear it until the 33rd. And as I said before, the ministry of Jesus Christ began when he was 30 years old and didn't end until he was 33, and then he was resurrected. The Bank of America logo is 3 sets of 11, equaling 33. There we got those Luciferian world bankers again. There's a whole lot of 33s in Hindu and other religions. I'm not going to get into all those. I will say that there are 33 divinities, or their lowercase gods, found in the Vedas or in the Hindu tradition. Every 33 years, the Leonid meteor shower is brightest in mid-November. A continuous 12 lunation calendar with no intercalary periods will recoincide with the solar year every 33 years. Thus, every 33 years of the lunar solar cycle is completed, bringing the lunar months back in sync with the solar season. The basal house of the temple. The Freemasons' main lodge has 33 columns, each measuring 33 feet tall. The Indianapolis Scottish Rite Cathedral Ballroom. The ballroom is a square of 99 feet. The dancing area has a square of 66 feet, and the square white oak floor panels measure 33 inches. King Khalid Airport in Saudi Arabia has 33 arches along the Royal Pavilion. We talked about water's frozen at 32 degrees, but once at 33, it becomes water. From ice to water, so that's transformation. This is an alchemical principle, and it is no coincidence the 32 to 33 degree designation happens at this point. The measuring of heat or transformation in degrees is no coincidence. Your diploma is also called a degree, which allows you to move freely within commerce in a field of your choosing, much like water can move freely above 33 degrees and is not frozen into place. Okay? The solar year, 365.2422414. Solar days, or 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, 49.7 seconds. So that's 365.2422414. So that's 3 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 equals 33. The Basilica of St. Peter in Rome counts 33 chapels. The Loreto Chapel in Santa Fe is constructed of 32 stars, with the upper landing making it 33, or completeness. The enclosing walls around the Pyramid of Saqqara in Egypt measure 33 feet tall. On the Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramid rests on bedrock, which is 33 feet higher than that of the Pyramid of Khafre. The Pyramid of Khafre also has a terrace which measures 33 feet wide. Also in Giza, the Wall of the Crow measures 33 feet high. At the temples of Abu Simbel in Egypt, the statues measure 33 feet and 66 feet tall. There's more 33s there. I'm going to skip a couple here. The National Geographic Society, founded in 1888 and modeled after the Royal Geographical Society of London, had an original membership of 33 men. Clarence Dutton, who mapped out the geology of the western United States, sat as the chairman of that society. So the tree of Sipporeth of the Kabbalah has 33 elements, including the whole of it and its constituent parts. The Vatican recognizes the 33 doctors of the Church. 33 bishops make up the Irish Bishops' Conference, which is the official body of the Catholics of Ireland. In Ireland, excuse me. The 2005 traditional Christmas greeting was delivered from the Vatican in 33 languages. 33 members compose the Council of the Order of the Great Orient of France. Of the 99 beautiful names of Allah, which that is a multiple of 33, of those 99, the 33rd is Al-Azim, the supreme glory, meaning the most grand. In Islam, 33 angels carry the praise of a man to heaven. Sacred litanies make mention of 33 Tasbih, 33 Tahmid, and 33 Takbir, whatever that means. The animal kingdom is divided into 33 phyla. The raven produces 33 distinct sounds. Blue moons occur on an average once every 33 months. The sun rises on the exact spot on the horizon exactly every 33 years. Saturn has 33 natural satellites. So hopefully we'll get into at some point. Saturn and the occult have there's a lot of things with the occult and Saturn. Mercury has an average temperature of 332 degrees. Here we see 33 and 32. So the X-33 Venture Star is a technology program design, which is a partnership between NASA and private industry, for a new generation of launch vehicles that would significantly lower the cost of carrying payloads into space. I'm glad they could include the number 33 in the name of it. On the largest Earth-based reflective telescope, the mirror on it is 33 feet in diameter. Saturn V rockets were 33 feet wide and 363 feet tall. 363 divided by 33 equals 11. And as I mentioned earlier, 11 is an extremely important number to occultists, which we will get into at a later date. The world's largest radio telescope is the 330-meter dish in Arecibo in Puerto Rico's mountains. James got into the Pythagorean theorem and some of that before. I'm going to skip some of that. Seawater pressure doubled every 33 feet of depth. Due to the Earth's gravity, a column of water can only rise up into the air 33 feet before it begins to disperse and collapse. The U.S. Geological Survey, the USGS, and the National Earthquake Information Center, the World Data Center for Seismology in Denver, lists seismic activity according to depth below surface, with 33 kilometers being the shallowest grade on their scale. There's Club 33 at Disneyland, which I found Walt Disney was not a Mason. He was involved in the whatever the kids' little pre-Mason group is. They're Cub Scouts for one-day Masons. But Club 33 had an original 33 corporate sponsors, and that's why it was named 33, which is interesting too. The numerical alphabetical sum of AIDS equals 33. There's a little more Shakespeare stuff. I don't really care. Trust me, Shakespeare has a lot of 33 stuff going on. I'm not going to get into all that. So Dante's Divine Comedy has 3 books. The Inferno, which is the most widely read, the second 2 books of the trilogy, the Purgatorio and the Paradiso, both contain 33 cantos. Edmund Spenser's famous epic poem, The Fairy Queen, is loaded with allegory. It's got a lot of 33s in it. I'm not going to get into all that. Sir Francis Bacon, this one gets me here. Sir Francis Bacon, features prominently in a secret society that he stated while at Cambridge, as well as playing a role in creating speculative masonry from its base in craft masonry. He is believed to have written the early Rosicrucian books as well. Oddly enough, the numerical value of his name using the Elizabethan alphabet is 33. B2, A1, C3, 0, 14, and N is 13. I always knew bacon was magical. So, there you go. Bacon equals 33. So, I saw that Constantine made crucifixion illegal in 337 AD. 7 also has some significance. We'll get into it at a later date. So, I hear the train coming. I'm going to jump off and get back in the bunker in case it's dropping off some agents of some sort. So thank you for watching. I know I ran through this quickly. I hope everybody thought it's as interesting as we do. We really appreciate you watching. We're going to get into more of the reasoning of some of these numbers later. We just want to keep throwing these weird coincidences at you. And again, I want to give props to James. He's done a lot of research on numerology and helping to shed light in the darkness. So thank you so much for watching Mystery Ranch International. Please comment, rate, subscribe, all that jazz, and check us out. Check out mysteryranchinternational.com. Get a cool t-shirt. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.